Coastline, it's Rogue, it's Spacestation, it's tied on maps. Who's gonna be going to the final, ladies and gentlemen? Let's hear you, Vegas, as we go to sunny map of Coastline.
Now, Rogue might have been given the less than favorable overtime role on Clubhouse, but they're gonna get the favorable start here on Coastline. It's gonna be Rogue on attack for the first 5 rounds. Of course, Coastline, one of the very few maps that tends to be much easier for attackers to pull off their executes and win more rounds than the defense do, which is a stark contrast to both Consulate and Clubhouse, which have been very much so defender favored.
2 bans right off the board, right off the top is going to be Ying and Glass. Both of those operators very good at aggression, but both of them now removed. Maestro going to be the next one, and then Valkyrie going to be the last. Not too big of a surprise, honestly, coming out Maestro against Redeemer, going to force him back into that echo play, if that is what he opts to do. And Valkyrie removed just due to the fact of those amazing camera throws you can now pull off. Yeah,
these bans are pretty similar to what we've seen throughout the series between these two teams, Ying and Valkyrie. This is now the 3rd time that they've been banned by Spacestation Gaming in the 5 maps that they've played here at the US Nationals. So obviously they don't enjoy playing against them. Glaz directly done to counter Rampy, and of course Glaz, a very comfortable operator to use on Coastline. Lots of soft destruction that you can do, tons of wide open long sights that you can use Glaz to hold with 1 smoke grenade, 2 smoke grenades, or just no smoke grenades really.
Now the one thing that I do love to talk about Coastline with is the multiple site choices that you can have. All of these sites on this entire map are playable. There's not one that is so detrimentally worse than the others and is not able to be won. As you guys can see, SSG popping in right there. Rogue and SSG have never played Coastline against each other. So this is a newfound territory for both of them. We'll see who can get more creative and end up pulling it out on top.
Double bars will give Spacestation Gaming likely its best opportunity for defense here. It tends to be one of the best now in terms of win rates for the defenders. It used to be Kitchen, but obviously with Kitchen being played as much as it did, eventually attackers started to figure it out as well. If you have Mira and Maestro Band, defending Kitchen is not impossible, but highly improbable, I would say. Something that has been quite commonplace over the matches that we've played both yesterday and today, be Mute with the shotgun and the SMG-11. It's going to be what Chala is running. It's going to be great for information denial. Mute is an operator who is often seen as a niche pick or situational, who can have a lot of usage in assisting roamers and keeping map control in favor of the other defenders, or just simply depriving information of the attackers when it comes to executing on site. It can also be done to stop Hibana pellets or an exothermic charge from going off, because the Mute jammer will quite literally jam the gadget from working.
Now, once again, going back to these sites, since there are so many choices that you can possibly go with, these offensive operator choices are going to be a lot more well-rounded. As actually Slash Egg almost kills Vertical, but it's not going to come through. Shuttle is almost going to kill Vertical, but it's not going to come through right there. He is going to be able to retain his life and all of his health as well. Well, we are going to have Bosco on the roam upstairs, as he is getting hunted by Eclipse right now.
It's very disorienting for a lot of players on rappel, especially upside down. It's a skill that a couple entry fraggers and support players who are just going to simply hold an angle have. That really doesn't get mentioned, is that some players really thrive when on that rappel line. Sledge upstairs and Hookah. It's going to be Shuttle. Eclipse gets the very first kill. He was upside down. He was waiting for Bosco, but thinking Nade will trade out Shuttle and say goodbye to the soft destruction that could have happened in Hookah. Vertical will be tagged in. Now keep in mind that IQ is capable of running breaching charges for soft destruction when coupled with other operators or in the absence of other soft destructors. But there's going to be a Claymore for Vertical that he can set down and likely do it at the top of Cool Vibe Stairs, and can cut off a very handy rotate that can be used to take control for the defenders of Hookah, which currently is in the hands of the attackers.
Still a lot of utility on the defense that can be used. 2 Nitro Cells, as well as all of Thinking Nade's Toxic Babes. Chala is starting to get aggressive on the Cool Vibes. He's going to try and take away this vertical control that Vert currently has control of. As Chala is starting to get more aggressive onto Hookah. We'll see exactly when he wants to push forward. He can hear him running around inside, and there it is. Chala gonna follow through as he is going to take out Vert, playing those tall angles. Now, as they execute, seems to start going towards blue. Rampy gonna find one of his own onto Eclipse, and this is starting to fall apart for the offense, and Rampy's gonna find two, taking the head off of easily. Slashug, no head yet to take off of just because of that shield in front of his face. Gonna whip out the Deagle. Will he be able to find anyone is the real question. Seems more of like a game of tag right now, as he really cannot find anyone. Now they are gonna hear the diffuser start to go down. Redeemer knows there's only one possible spot, and that's gonna be behind the Sunrise bar, as Slashug will go down.
I'm not certain if that black mirror that we saw facing towards Kitchen had been ejected by Space Station Gaming, but if they had, then that goes hand in hand with why there was no defender that was playing inside the little bar inside of Sunrise bar. And that's because if you eject that mirror, you have Redeemer, who's playing as the mirror, being able to jump up at any point and still be able to see in and have control of most of the site without actually needing to be in there himself. Something that we actually saw Space Station do on Bank upstairs in CEO. They ejected a mirror window inside of Janitor and then waited for one of their opponents to come and push in, and it was a perfect bait and switch. So these are definitely tactics that SSG do consider, so it's not too much theory crafting. After locking down bars, which, as I said, I'd actually like stats on this, if possible, from CHGG, if you're listening to me, Spencer, in regards to the double bars and what its win percentage is typically for the defenders. Kitchen will be not the scene for this second round. Instead, it'll be up to Penthouse and Theater of Hoops. The site has also seen quite a bit of play over this weekend, too. Almost a resurgence. I think a lot of it is that Mira is now back. She is no longer banned as much as she was. And Mira really makes this site a lot more tenable for the defenders. You can keep control of Theater, which is currently where Bosco is seated. It's going to be where the A bomb site is. And with both of those black mirrors there, you can look towards the bathroom. You can look towards the window that Chala is currently situated at. You can look in towards Guitar, or Hall of Fame as it's technically called in the red. And behind that crouch height mirror, right next to the door, you can toss a C4 over it and take out a plant that's going down over on the B side by the window. So it's a very powerful spot for the defenders to be. And it requires a lot of concentration and effort from the attackers to be able to dislodge anybody playing behind them.
It was actually incredible to me how much Mira changed the game when she actually did come in. There was a lot of sites that were practically undeveloped at the time. She really changed those all around, was able to make those come to fruition and bring the best out of those. And this happens to be one of them. This is actually the map that she got brought out on, which is Coastline. Thank you to Velvet Shell for that. Usually when they are attacking up here, at least onto this side, you will see more or less a VIP take and or aquarium, and then they will clear across, trying to get everybody pushed back to site. The one thing that they are going to want to be wary about right here is Rampy possibly playing down near the surface entrance.
It's a lot harder for you to hold map control and try to take Theater than it is to try and take Penthouse. Because with Penthouse, you're only going to have one narrow doorway. You can claymore it off and not have to worry about a late flank from somebody on the defense. Whereas if you try to attack the Theater side of things, you have to worry about luggage, you have to worry about white stairs, you have to worry about 90 cam, you have to worry about somebody playing maybe inside of VIP. There's a lot of factors that you have to consider. And especially the fact that the defenders will have the advantage of playing inside of the Penthouse side too, and C4 can reach in and kill you at most angles. First kill is going to come out, Slashug. You can hear the telltale sign of the DMR in the hands of the Blackbeard, and you'll find Thinking Nade, one of the best operators in the latter half of a round is going to be the smoke. The Space Station's not going to have it. Slash still trying to catch somebody behind the mirror window, but it's Rampy downstairs who is going to be incredibly important for this push. Chala escaping a grenade, it sails right over top of him. And Rogue is just going to trudge into the site. But that's a perfect throw from Rampy up through the hatch. It catches vertical, and Chala also sees another body. The big problem is that Rogue has lots of spare parts to get this plant down. There's Redeemer and Chala, though, grabbing 2 kills. Rampy takes Eclipse. It's a perfect trade, and it's all up to Shuttle. He's got 2 mirror windows staring him in the face. He'll have to grab the plant. He'll have to grab the diffuser and go for the plant.
Shuttle, very wary about the vertical angles that Bosco is currently controlling from downstairs, as he will pop a couple shots towards that Blackbeard, but he's not going to find very much success as he does shoot through the body of IQ to find Redeemer, but Bosco going to find him from underneath, and that will be a round for Space Station on the board. Looking very good so far.
Things went wrong really fast for Rogue.
Very, very fast indeed.
They got the opening kill with Slash on the thinking nade. A smoke being able to completely cut off a push is integral for that site in particular. That's a big part of why you have that mirror window, is that smoke can play behind it. He can throw out the toxic canisters. He can lock down over by bed, lock down by bathroom, and lock down by Hall of Fame.
Yeah, arguably one of the biggest picks that you can have for defensive operators is smoke. I mean, he has so much utility in that latter half of the round, as you were saying, being able to deny for 30 seconds with those toxic baits if played appropriately. Having that off the board so early should have been a detriment, but apparently not, as they will end up taking the round. That vertical play coming up huge with Rampy and Bosco.
And after Rampy did get the C4 throw, he was then able to just hop on the sensor and know that there wasn't going to be anybody else pushing him, because Rogue had 3 bodies upstairs trying to get into the site. And essentially when one fell, they tagged in the Blackbeard of Slash, and the read was made correctly from Space Station, who still had those 2 black mirrors that were not taken care of. And I do find it kind of intriguing here, because there's been really no hard destruction that's been brought. You look at Rogue's lineup right now, don't have any hard destructors. Now there's a theory on Coastline that if you have enough soft destruction, that hard destruction is not a requirement, especially given the fact that you're going to see either a hookah defense or a kitchen defense. You don't necessarily need hard destruction for either of those, though hard destruction will help you obviously in kitchen. The site is hookah, so it's not a bad call from Rogue. In fact, they're going to bring lots of utility and tons of killing potential that might be absent if you were to bring a thermite with you, if you were fearing that you might have to go on to kitchen.
Very creative drone, as you guys saw, with Shuttle right there inside of Sunrise. They are going to be able to identify out Chala downstairs playing the mute. Slash is trying to currently hunt him down with the Blackbeard. They're not going to find him just yet. If they're able to waste enough time, it will be a big game changer for this round. That vertical play, again, last time winning them that entire round. If Rampy and Bosco are able to do the same thing over again, you know, they're going to be able to pull this up to a 3-0, which traditionally is not what you see on Coastline from the defense.
A bomb has been located.
It's noted how patient the attacks from Space Station were from our wonderful analysts, and I think that a lot could be said of Rogue at the moment with this push in particular. They seem to be confounded by the soft wall inside of Blue Bar that's been shot wide open. Space Station actually using soft destruction to their advantage here. Quite a number of circumstances. They've castled off the rotate from luggage into aquarium. They've castled off the double door from aquarium into billiards. And speaking of, that'll be the castle barricade that gets taken down by one of Ash's breaching rounds.
Going to start dedicating utility to see if any of Bosco's ADSs are currently in billiards. They will find out that there is none, but Thinking Nade playing his life a little bit better this time, as he has made it to the latter half of the round. Has those 3 toxic babes lying in wait, as they do have full control of aquarium, but not much else right now. Basically all of Rogue dedicated to this one quadrant of the map.
Still, they had somebody in office, it's Eclipse, waiting. Like Rampy was also down there, but Rampy's now over in kitchen with Bosco and Chala situated on the stairs. This is going to be an Aqua take. It's going to be a push into billiards as Vertical just gets in, and oh, goodbye, Redeemer. Thinking Nade taking a lot of damage, but he outfrags Slash, traded off onto Chala from Vertical, as Rogue will maintain their advantage. Bosco and Rampy are going to have to get back, as Thinking Nade uses what little left of his life to get easily. Vertical and Eclipse will shut down Thinking Nade and Rampy, and Bosco's in a lot of trouble down below. This should be pretty easy for Rogue to just hang on here as they get the diffuser down on top of the billiards table, and Bosco's not even going to make it past the cool vibe stairs. But he'll rally the troops anyway, and Rogue will take hookah. It's their very first victory on attack. They're going to need a couple more of them if they want to feel comfortable before they switch sides.
The entry fraggers grabbing a hold of all of those frags that time around. 3 kills for Vert, and another 2 for the Ash, as we will begin to descend into round number 4. Now, the offense there by Rogue, a lot slower, a lot more methodic, seemed to work out for him. Maybe you know, and try and apply that to the rest of these offensive rounds that they have. They have 2 more. They could still come out on top in this half.
Yeah, it would have been a really awful sign if they'd lost 3 in a row. Not just in terms of getting confidence going into the rest of the matchup, but the fact that that would guarantee that they lost their half on attack, which they absolutely need to win. Unless things get thrown on their head and we end up with the attackers winning every single round here in Coastline, essentially. So, or the defenders, rather, winning every single round here rather than the attackers. Back down to the double bars, Space Station will go. They're going to run something very similar. Obviously, Castle does see quite a large amount of picks here on Coastline. He pairs quite well. Usually used to try and contain the kitchen. Once again, for those that are unfamiliar with the best usage of Castle, what you're typically going to want to do is expand the site or establish control of the room above. In this case, it's going to be a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. You can see that one Castle barricade went down on the door to kitchen, which will mean that you can safely play in the middle of Sunrise Bar without having to worry about getting picked off from any attacker that gets in the kitchen, without using some soft destruction first to take that Castle barricade down. And with the other Castle barricade going off over towards the foyer area, it means that you can safely play next to it. And with the mute jammers down, they're going to have to expend some either serious hard destruction, or serious soft destruction, or hard destruction. But as you can see, Rogue, once again, foregoing their Hibana Thermite. Not even bringing a Maverick along for the ride.
Now, the last time that we were on this site, Rampy was able to do absolute work over by one of the best callouts on this entire map, Lamborghini Doorway. It is always a fun thing to talk about, especially since we're in Vegas. You have access to that here. You see them all the time. But as you can see, that beautiful car. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. But Rampy was able to play out his life pretty dang well over there the last time. But it seems like they are going to go for the second level roam this time around.
The big factors for Rogue was they couldn't get control of Hookah when they attacked this site as well. A big part of that is a play of Chala on the Cool Vibe stairs, then coordination alongside having Thinking Nade play from below. Slashhug goes fishing and he's going to catch them, and that's going to be Redeemer. He's going to take out the Mira, who was able to shut down Slash the last time this happened. Chala missing the C4, an unfortunate set of circumstances for him. He is going to manage to get away from the Ash, though, as Eclipse was hot on his trail, though the Ash now just crouch walking in. Could have possibly found the Mute. Mute having to use the SMG-11 to engage at longer range, as the shotgun is going to be the primary, is going to be in the hands of the Denial operator. Half of the round out, and the only action has been Slash's easy entry onto Redeemer.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
These roamers going to need to start seeing a little bit of action, as you will see the ping from Rampy onto Eclipse downstairs, knowing his current location, going to communicate that over to Chala. So Chala knows what's going on. His vertical is going to start getting the diffuser down. It's going to start losing quite a bit of health in the process, though, but it will come through as easily. He's going to find another one on top of that. Thinking Nade going down. Bosco going to find one of his own, and Chala going to follow it up. 3v3 already. Chala is going to do a little bit of home improvement on that wall, just be able to make a rotate for his fellow defenders. Now Slash does still have that shield on his weapon easily. The process will find Chala, and will break off of that SR-25 of Blackbeard's. It's all left up to Rampy and Bosco in this situation, at least. It's still 3 up on the offense. Rampy gonna even it out at 2, but that diffuser timer getting oh so close. The point of no return, as Rampy is going to have to stick it. Bosco gonna find one. Oh, and the vertical angle trying to come out from Shuttle, but he can't get the kill. There, it will come through, and Shuttle will be able to clutch up the round for Rogue. Fantastic play on the vertical angle.
A smart rotate from Shuttle to go upstairs and have just the presence of mind as Sledge to open up a hole over top of the diffuser, as is pretty traditional when you know that you have a soft floor above you or a ceiling, depending on your perspective. So Rogue will even things up and find themselves on their final attack here. Interestingly enough, SSG will go back to the double bars. Penthouse and Theater unlocked. They could have gone there if they really wanted to. And they will actually change it at the last second and go to Penthouse Theater.
Yeah, and they are going to pull Redeemer off of the mirror as well. Hand it over to Chala. Guess Redeemer not feeling too comfortable on that mirror the last time around, getting picked off extremely early by the Blackbeard. Hopefully be able to change that around this time. Now they do have a massive amount of utility for Denial on this defense. They got the smoke, they got the Mira, they got the pulse, and they got the mute. That's 3 nitro cells and 3 toxic babes. A match made in heaven for a defense on Penthouse.
I would wonder if they're actually going to stick with the 3 C4s or if they're going to have somebody run with the bulletproof camera. That would be Redeemer who might do it, but no, there you go. Nitro cells, so you're absolutely correct. They'll run with 3 of them.
Sometimes I guess things correctly. You know?
Well, I mean, I could see some usage for a bulletproof camera here if you really wanted to, but I mean, you've got the 2 mirror windows in the spots where you probably put one of the cameras anyway, so it's not the end of the world that you have the nitro cells, and obviously this is a very nitro cell friendly site. You're going to have default plant spots over by the B bomb. You're going to have a nitro cell go over there somewhere in that area. You've also got the default plant spot over basically everywhere that you see the floor is shot out. That's where somebody is likely to plant. Also keep in mind that somebody planting on the bed can be dispatched from the first floor. As you see, there is a hatch where you can arc the C4 from.
You'll more than likely see somebody holding that Lamborghini doorway, since that did come through last time. Ended up changing the entire round around after Rampy ended up getting that nice nitro cell. But as we were just talking about, there is 3 of those this time around. We are going to have Redeemer downstairs as well. Eclipse on the hunt for these roamers, as he does not want to see this go down the same way it did the last time.
Let's set up a flank watch drone and then actually do some diligent work, or some due diligence with a proper drone, unless he's going to leave that for flank watch as well. He's got one inside a kitchen, easily tossing in a grenade, and oh! Great choice by Chalo there as he peeks out and shreds through easily on rappel. As I mentioned, some players not the most comfortable on rappel, and easily is not going to have another opportunity for about 2 minutes to get back on there. It's also going to deprive Rogue of their Capitao, an operator who carries the only set of smokes on Rogue's side of things, comes from his crossbow, and also has the area denial with those fire bolts, or the asphyxiating bolts. You still got frag grenades in the hands of Shuttle, and you've got the absolute raw killing potential of the other 3 operators, so this is still definitely workable. But I wonder how much these mute jammers are going to affect the ability for Rogue to push, because they're going to be starved for intel here. That's why I'd imagine it's taking quite a long time for them to be able to get into the building.
These roamers are very aware of their current situation. They have wasted so much time, and that means Rogue is going to have to start dedicating themselves towards sight, which, oh my goodness. It's reinforced, guys. Don't worry, he won't get shot through it, I promise. But we do have a very, very special spot. Vase getting played currently by, I believe, Redeemer. Yes, it will be. And that is going to be almost immediately Trey, but 2 different people. Chala going to find one in Eclipse, going to find the other, as Redeemer chooses to abandon his spot inside the Vase, immediately rotating back. That timing right there, but he is going to end up going down to Eclipse. Bosco going to find him in the process, though. Then immediately refrag, and Slashhook going to find one of his own, as it's going to go 2v2, and the diffuser's going to go down in the process. Thinking Nade, not aware of the situation by the bed, but Bosco slowly rotating over to VIP. Slashhook going to try and meet him at the door. This is starting to slowly fall into Rogue's favor. Slashhook gonna hold that angle as long as possible with that shield covering his face. His Shuttle is going to be hiding behind the master bed wall. He's gonna shoot, he's not gonna find any contact. It's gonna go down to a 2v1. All it is Slashhook versus 2, as you will start to hear the bomb go down, but the shotgun of Thinking Nade will find him, and that will be defense winning 3 rounds right there. Fantastic play by Spacestation Gaming.
Very few things can take a Blackbeard down with a full face shield in front of him, and one of them happens to be a shotgun, and it's well played. Slash just peeking a little too wide there to be able to get the shot. It actually looked like we were going to see Bosco on a collision course with the Blackbeard inside of VIP, but Thinking Nade being able to push up, prompting Shuttle to get up along with Bosco, and then missing his shots, Shuttle did. It's what ultimately ended up turning that round in its favor. There's a lot of trades back and forth as both Space Station and Rogue met in towards the site. Rogue's best chance of winning came right after Rampy fell, because you lose the information with that pulse. You essentially leave the defenders blind to a certain extent, and all they really had access to were those 2 black mirrors. That was it. Ended up working out quite well, though, because with those black mirrors available to them, that's what Thinking Nade pushed up from behind and got the kill. Now, if you look, we're going to switch sides. We're going to start in Hookah here, and, well, more the same from what we see from Space Station, except they're actually going to bring some hard destruction this time around. They're going to stick Chala on the Hibana. And I mean, it's not like that's a bad thing. You do miss maybe some utility that you could apply elsewhere, but you have a fallback in case you do need that hard destruction. And I mean, Hibana's not a bad fragger if you need somebody to start gunning fools, as the kids say.
The kids do say in all of my ranked games, I assure you that. But we'll tell you one thing though, 4 smokes are going to be on deck for the offense. Another thing that I did want to point out here, we do have the ACOG duo in Rook and Doc. They're basically brothers. They just do not have the same utility. You do have the armor pack, in which guarantees you a down unless you are shot in your face, and the other one will be able to pick you up. So they work pretty well in unison.
Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty obvious that most of the attackers are going to be bringing ACOGs. You're going to want at least one on a site like Hookah, where you know you can be pushed from ruins, which is all the way outside of the building, where you know you can get pushed all the way from over. Oh no, they're both down all the way over towards Aquarium. And it's going to be a mad dash to the finish. Can they capitalize on the kill? Easily dives out and takes down the Jaeger, and he's going to go for the reset, and they're going to get him up. And they're going to manage to get away. That's a huge win for Rogue. And Eclipse finds Thinking Nade as well. Through the drone hole, say goodbye to the Buck. Space Station will begin round number 6, knocked on their heels by a very aggressive run out of the main door by Rogue.
Honestly, I expected nothing less with this lineup coming out. Usually when you see that Doc Rook, that means something's going to happen. This time, happening for Eclipse, and it's going to happen again. He's going to find Rampy. Man is just running rampant around this map right now. No concern in the world except for these amazing kills he's been getting.
Well, they say that the defense doesn't really work out all that well on Coastline. So how do you win your defenses? You start playing offense. That's exactly what Rogue did, Sam. So, you still have a Doc available on vertical side of things. So you have an opportunity to heal everybody back. Bosco and Redeemer, 3 speeds, so they're going to be quite quick. But if Rogue is smart, they just need to sit and establish crossfires. Bosco checking under Cool Vibe. Stairs is some soft destruction being done from Redeemer onto the wall using the caliber-based destruction that we all know and love, trying to see if there's anybody playing inside of Blue Bar. Rogue just needs to be really patient. That early aggression means that they can just sit back and wait for the only remaining members of Space Station to knock on their door.
The one thing you always want to be concerned about with being aggressive on defense is when to know to draw back. And as you guys can see, Rogue's doing that perfectly right now, as Eclipse still has his life, and they've ended 3 lives of others. Looking very good right now for Rogue is this round, as Redeemer is working his way up main stairs. Now they're going to have to try and find at least something. Bosco gonna have 2 quick flashbangs. Eclipse gonna find another as he's gonna remove Redeemer, but Bosco gonna find one of his own. It's 4 versus 1. He's going to have a 1v5 clutch here, but easily he's gonna shut him down as Rogue will win this defensive round. Looking very, very good so far for them on the defense.
Space Station Gaming appeared to be drone-starved because they had to manually check basically all of the map with a lot of hesitation, knowing that even one misstep, they would end up getting tagged and then likely taken out of the fray. And I struggle to see how Bosco, with only 25 seconds left on the clock, which is how much there was when he got his very first kill, is able to get 4 more after that. Ash is probably the best pure fragger in the game, and I mean, if you're gonna try to 1v5 clutch, other than maybe Maestro on defense, Ash is probably your next best bet. But the setup that Rogue had did not allow for that, and Bosco had to try to get to the top of a stairwell that was being looked at from at least 2 members of Rogue.
Oh, I saw it flash just for a second there. I don't know if you saw it, but Bosco did flash a little bit of that Blackbeard there for a second. Haven't seen him on that one in a while, but he is going to opt for the IQ instead. SSG been bringing these fraggers along for the ride, at least for the previous round and this one.
Interestingly, Rogue has moved Eclipse over to more of a traditional fragging role on Coastline, just showing once again that flexibility and the depth that Rogue has in their lineup. You've got 5 players who are capable of doing basically whatever you need, playing whichever roles. And yes, with the addition of Vertical, Rogue has gone back to the drawing board with some of their strategies. Eclipse typically playing safer roles, rather than possibly working with an entry or a second entry. No, Eclipse is been doing a great job of getting as many kills as he needs to, while also providing an incredible amount of utility. Pulse is a good operator to do both of those things, so keep an eye on him in this round. As we'll go over towards the kitchen for round number 7, all tied up.
Now, the kitchen site, very dangerous for both teams if not handled correctly. Kind of like a snake, you know, it can get out of control. You don't want that. The big thing here will be that vertical play that we always love to preach on most of these sites that do have that soft destruction above. Big player right here will be Eclipse, as well as Shuttle with those nitro cells, seeing if they can deny that vertical pressure that they're going to try and apply with Thinking Aid on that buck. That will be their main objective for this take. Able to cut off a lot of those rotations. That first nitro cell actually going to come out as /Ug's Yokai is going to bounce off Rampy's head, give him a little bit of a visual effect, but is not going to get Rampy killed in the process.
Rampy should count his lucky stars that C4 didn't blow him to pieces, and still disoriented. Shuttle is there inside a luggage to take out Rampy. Thinking Aid will try, but no, Shuttle is still there. He didn't move, boys. That's a double kill for Rogue.
Oh my goodness.
And a beautiful shot from vertical as Rogue doing exactly what they did on the round previously. Redeem will try and keep this close as he eliminates Shuttle. Shuttle getting both of the kills for Rogue thus far. Space Station losing one set of smokes. They have 2 available. Still have the 2 on Capitao. They also lost their hard destruction and they lost their buck. And on a map like Coastline, buck is oh so important, especially on kitchen, because you can tear apart all of that VIP floor, and those frag grenades, well, they bounce. They can be really effective at trying to flush out a defender playing behind the bomb chassis over by service or even over by the rack inside a kitchen.
Very important he can be, but I'll tell you one thing here though. Not going to be too effective on this round as he has been removed hastily by the defense. And, you know, this entire weekend, I'm sure if you guys have heard the cast previously, I've been talking about catalysts for offensive play. Coastline is the map to where you can be the most aggressive just due to the fact of how quickly you can rotate. And he's going to make an oven inside of this desk, but it's not going to find anybody. Redeemer, just not the best of luck right now. And as everybody knows that he's out here by Lambo doorway and actually going to get peeked out as vertical will find him. And the defenders, the first time this map at least, will go up as Rogue is going to take over.
Defense are absolutely crushing him at the moment, which is in line with what we saw on console. It's in line with what we saw on Clubhouse, and now it's on Coastline too. So both of these teams proving to be much stronger on the D side of things. Losing the lead for the very first time, other than when they were in a draw situation, Space Station opts to take their tactical timeout now. Hopefully find that they will be able to regain their footing. Ignore that.
I don't know what even that was. These things are actually very soundproof, which is really nice. I don't have to hear stuff like that, you know? It's great. Anyways, SSG going to take that timeout once again. Trying to get a couple of those kinks out of the hose in which they're trying to get their victory through right now. As, you know, they did just end up losing that lead. It looks like, as far as we can see so far, they are going to adjust over for more of a site execute set of operators.
The one thing that Rogue has been doing so well that Space Station has no answer for is that slow, methodical push that Space Station is known for. Rogue is just bringing the heat to them immediately, and Space Station don't look like they know how to react to that. They don't seem to understand how to push back on Rogue. The big problem with the strategy that Rogue is employing is that if the team you are playing against figures it out, or just simply knows how to deal with it, you could end up tossing 1 or 2 rounds away. That's not the case so far. So it's still working for Rogue. I would imagine Rogue side, they might just keep doing that until finally Space Station catches them. We'll go to Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar downstairs, as Space Station will try for their very first victory here on attack. It's been all Rogue so far over the 2 rounds on defense that they've had a chance to defend on.
Double set up here for the bar area, as we are going to have Siege GG coming in. Defense wins Blue/Sunrise Bar or double bar 51% of the time, Parker, compared to 49% overall on Coastline. So very, very close.
I was right again. Very happy about myself right now.
Oh my goodness.
It's just small victories like those that keep me going through the day.
That whole thing where you told me fishing for compliments.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were. I was as well.
There you
I won't.
you know, at least you are able to identify that out and call yourself out on it as well. But big player so far on Rogue's side, as you guys just saw by that scoreboard, was Eclipse. 9 kills, really putting the roam game to work, as well as some of that offensive play. But again, the beauty of Coastline for these roamers is you can get so aggressive and you're able to rotate so quickly between floors with that massive square opening in the middle of the map that it's very hard to get pinpointed and pushed out. And right now, Rogue is definitely using that to their advantage.
If Space Station can hold on to Hookah above, that's going to be a major hindrance for Rogue. And it will be extremely beneficial to Space Station because you'll be able to force the defenders out of Sunrise Bar and try to just wrangle them, likely into Kitchen, maybe Courtyard, and then over towards Blue Bar. It's not going to be Bosco on the Blackbeard. It's going to be Rampy, who's going to sub out an operator that fulfills a role similar to the way that Glaz does. You don't want to peek a Glaz when there's smoke. You typically won't peek a Blackbeard either. They're played differently, but sometimes they can be used in a pinch very effectively. One round of XKaros will go in here and easily actually getting the very first kill running. Really, the FMG on smoke. That is odd, to say the least. And Slash with a C4 Space Station. There's a failure to launch for Space Station at the moment. He's still got easily patrolling over by the Sunrise Bar wall and Pillar, looking over towards the entrance of Sunrise. Thinking Nade will spot him on a drone. And well, if I'm Space Station, you've lost your hard destruction and you've lost your Blackbeard. You're going to have to go for a different approach. 1 or 2 quick kills here from Space Station can be enough to try and put them back within striking distance of this round.
Now, Thinking Nade, 2 for 1 on opening frags for his team, and he's going to find the initial one right there. Make that 3 for him, as he is going to put Easling down. But Vertical going to find Bosco in the process of that one. Very close fight as Thinking Nade's going to win that over Slashug. Thinking Nade trying to have a repeat of the last round. He is going to rotate quickly as he is going to find Mute. Thinking Nade going absolutely nuclear right now, and he's going to turn around and find Eclipse. Oh my goodness, changing this round completely around as he is poised to take the ace, ladies and gentlemen. It's all left up to Vertical on the Cool Vibe stairs, and that's exactly what he's going to have to try and have to shut down Thinking Nade. And no, it's an ace. Put him down is Space Station Gaming. No failure to launch this time around. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Staring down possible match point if Rogue walks away with that. Ultimately, that fell apart because nobody from Rogue was covering Kitchen. There was not a single soul on Rogue who was dedicated to watching that Kitchen door. And Thinking Nade strikes inside a Sunrise Bar, pivots, almost gets taken out by the mirror inside a Blue Bar. But then great coordination and droning. And the only remaining member of his team, basically what got him that. And of course, once again, these are contributions that are not going to be seen on the scoreboard for anybody but Thinking Nade, but you got to give him credit for the way he played that. And now we're all tied up. Of course, you couldn't expect Coastline to be lopsided in anybody's favor here, and we will go to match point no matter what happens at the end of round number 9. Back down to the double bars. This is very similar to what we saw in Clubhouse when Space Station ended up winning a round on Church downstairs. And I think what they realized was that, hey, we maybe didn't deserve this, let's go back there. Or they lost it and they thought maybe we didn't deserve this, let's go back there. Same thing's gonna happen here. I think Rogue realizes that you're not gonna have Thinking they just waltz right in and kill your entire team again. You're gonna test Space Station's actual execute on this site, which frankly, it wasn't very good because there was no actual execute for us to look and pick apart, other than Thinking Nade absolutely obliterating every single person he saw.
Well, if you didn't think this offensive lineup could get any more frag heavy, they will make it happen as Rampy will opt for the Twitch with that fantastic F2. Arguably the best gun on offense is the F2. But Rampy's not only playing it for that fantastic weapon, he's also playing it for the Twitch drones, which have a little taser on them, which are fantastic for popping those mirrors that Slash is currently playing. Knock open those little air canisters, drop the mirror, makes it a little bit more difficult for the defense to try and mess with you while you're trying to get the bomb plant down.
Imagine Rogue now will realize that that aggression that they had will probably slow down for the time being. Unbeknownst to the mute of Shuttle, he's going to get spotted on a drone from Chala. And there's an opportunity here for a free kill if they can get that information in. One drone lost as Eclipse trying to circle through office, spots the drone, takes it out. Shuttle eliminates Thinking Nade, so there's your reward. Thinking Nade, you killed them all last time. You're not going to get a chance to do that this time. Sit on the bench for the next 2 minutes and wait for match point. It's a big opening kill from Rogue as well, and they've been doing an excellent job of getting all those opening kills. Chala just narrowly missing on Navert, but it's a Doc. He'll heal himself back up. As for the rest of Space Station, there's still lots of drone work being done, and they're testing to see if Rogue is going to try to push them through any of these open windows. But opened up by both Rogue and Space Station.
One of the hardest things to contest in this game is an ACOG angle. Rogue dancing that line perfectly fine right now as they are not trying to get too pretentious, get too aggressive onto this offense currently, trying to play out their lives as long as possible. Already halfway through the round, wasting a lot of time. My goodness. Thinking Nade off the board already, as we already said. Coming up massive that last round, but they're not going to have him, as we are poised to see how this offense now wants to try and take over double bar. Right now is just a lot of angle holding. Might need some action out of Space Station. Otherwise, this is definitely going to be going Rogue's way.
Rogue just needs to sit and wait. They got the clock on their side. It's 50 seconds, but Rampy punishing Shuttle. Mute is not going to be able to get back into sight. That's a big opening gambit there. Other than that, everybody else is just sitting pretty. Soft destruction being done on the main entrance over by Sunrise Bar. That's going to give an angle for Chala in. Slash is completely fortified, but can get pushed from Rampy as we get a good perspective of where everybody sits. Eclipse picked off from Chala. That's a long shot. Is easily under fire on Cool Vibe stairs. He seeks the benefit of the actual site. Explosive push from Slash as Chala gets stopped in his tracks. Redeemer trying to cut off the site with smokes, but Slash, what a hero. He hops right up, he takes down Redeemer. He gets felled, he'll need to be picked up by Vert. He gets finished off, no chance for a pickup. 5 seconds left, and this could go really bad. Space Station will need to play it, but Rampy gets dropped. Bosco won't be able to get the diffuser. Rogue recovers quite well. Fired up, ready to go. We're on match point for Rogue.
Threading the needle was a vertical right there with that ACOG scope, just going right past the chassis of the bomb. Taking that round for them. They are going to be within striking distance, ladies and gentlemen. Rogue, they need one round, and they will meet Evil Geniuses in the final. Or will Space Station be able to bring it back? Tune in next time to your favorite TV show. I really don't know where I'm going with this, but there you go. Anyways, continue.
I mean, I got to imagine we're going to overtime. These teams are just this evenly matched. Kitchen will be where Rogue goes for their last stand here. On match point, on series point, and on Western Conference Championship point as well. Evil Geniuses have had about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to just sit and wait and watch this matchup eagerly. There's a thought process behind somebody, whoever wins this match, whether it's Rogue or Space Station, basically able to come in, and they'll still be hot. They'll be warmed up after this matchup. It's a thought for another day, and something that I'm sure analysts will delve into here. For Rogue, they have been having quite a great bit of success with these ACOGs, being able to engage Space Station at long angles, certain peak holes. You mentioned it, vertical, threading the needle, as you said, onto the bomb plan to Rampy as he struggled to get onto the couch just inside of Sunrise Bar. I mean, it's working for you. And there's been so many altercations between these teams and the way that Coastline plays with lots of soft, destructible walls, that you'll often see the health of both the attackers and the defenders low but not gone. That's why you bring that Doc utility, because you can survive an early scare and get right back to 100 HP as if nothing ever happened. Just waiting also by that Humvee down below is going to be vertical with the ACOG out, and Redeemer is just to the right of it. Oh! He'll get it! Vertical opens things up on match point.
That is the animal we've been waiting to see all weekend. Vertical ice in his veins as he will start things off right for Rogue and all the Rogue fans in the house with a very nice angle from up here inside of Penthouse. Hey, what do you know? Anyways, that is going to put quite the detriment into the offense right here, as that will be all of those smokes and asphyxiating bolts in Capital's arsenal gone. no damage done to anyone on the defense either. And this will make the offense more than likely stagnant, more or less just putting a big capital letter onto the nervousness that is definitely in this offense right now that does not get touched on too many times. But this is where emotions are high for both of these teams. One is one step away, one breath from this final. The other one is so close to damnation. Rampy will start to drone out up top, and he finds where Vertical's lair currently is. Now the real question is, will they want to spend time trying to get him out? As you will see people start to move up through Hall of Fame. Eclipse is going to see him from underneath, start calling him out, but Shuttle's going to find another one that's going to be Thinking Nade off the board. No more Buck, as oh my goodness, easily going to put another one. Bosco gone, Shala going to find one for himself as Vertical will finally go down upstairs.
Imagine there's going to be a brief pause here. Rogue knows with the numbers, they can get aggressive if they want. Shuttle just holding the doorway would transition from Penthouse into Theater. Shotgun in hand will almost certainly win this fight against Chala, but he's going to miss. He can't contest. Rampy is there, and they will double up on the lone player of Rogue playing above. All the while, we're seeing the clock begin to tick closer towards the 0 mark, which benefits Rogue, who sit on this match point, as we mentioned. Rogue still in a 3v2. You've got smokes available in the hands of Rampy's Jackal. He's also got the C7E, pretty proficient weapon, and then Chala as well, with the full loaded hard destruction that he can use those 3 rounds of X-Karos to possibly try to open up the wall in a bathroom or kitchen.
Rotating all of their utility back to site is Rogue. You saw Slashug moving that Yokai drone back to try and stop anything that is going to go on between Chala, as Eclipse is going to find him, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen! Rogue is going to the finals! What a map, what a match! Done and dusted is SSG as Rogue gets all the way here, baby. It's every time, EG, Rogue, we get to see it in the finals this time around. I'm excited. I don't know about you, Parker.
Western Conference champions can be added to the resume here. I know that Rogue has often struggled to get past the semifinals, but it was a commanding performance. Heartbreak on Spacestation Gaming as they come so close, but they say close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, as we've seen the latter from our perspective. They tried their best, and Space Station put in one hell of a performance. Both these teams deserve an immense amount of praise, and I think that the real winner is us for getting to watch this. But they're going to go to Evil Geniuses.